Magnus Carlsen celebrates 10 years unbroken as world number 1. World Champion Magnus Carlsen has now been the world number 1 on every rating list for the past decade since July 2011. Here today I will analyze Goldmoney Asian Rapid Knockout 2021 game number 41. Magnus Carlsen versus Aronian Levon. Carlsen with white pieces. Starts D4. Levon Aronian played knight f6, bishop g, bishop f4, d5, e3, bishop g4, attack the queen, and f3. A nice pawn structure by Carlsen, and bishop back to d7. G4 played, and c5 on the queen side by Levon, and c3. So here nice pawn structure, and queen v6, attack the b2 pawn, and here, and queen Magnus also played queen b3, trying to exchange. Levon did not respond and played e6, and Magnus also improved his another bishop, another knight, sorry, to d2, and here c4 is played. So Magnus must exchange or go back to with his queen. So we played c2, and bishop d6 challenged. So bishop captured by Magnus, and queen captured bishop on d6, e4, and double attack is coming, playing this pawn. So queen to c7, and now e5 is played. So the knight has to go back, and here Levon Aronian's pieces are not developed well. So here Magnus played another king knight to e2, and knight c6 by Levon, and knight and f4, protecting the e pawn, and ace 5 is played by Levon, and king side attack. So Magnus need to capture, and Levon also respond to rook with rook h5, and here sacrifice the pawn on h2, but capturing this pawn with rook on g1. So king protects the pawn on g7, and knight f3 is played to protect the ace2 pawn, and Levon develops his knight, king knight again on e7, and here Magnus attacks knight g3, the rook on h5. So rook a6 is played, and queen comes to d2, and b5 by Levon, and a3 is played, and so no pawn is coming to b5, b4, and a5, and here expanding pawns on ace 4, and f5 is played, and bishop e2, and the final development of the minor pieces, and knight d8, and the knight is coming this route. So Levon played knight d8, and Magnus improves his king and connects the rooks. As the pawn position is closed, you see. So Magnus go for this king pawn, and the rook is connected, and maybe this rook is coming here, and this rook is joining the double same file, coming to same file, and ace 5 is played. Sorry, a5 is a4, a5 to a4 is played, and rook g2, knight is d7, f7, sorry, and the rook is connected, and the rook is doubled on g file. So I go back with the rook on h8, and this pawn is pushed again on ace file. The ace 5 is played, and protecting the limiting the knight or pawn on g6. Then it comes to a6, and it is eyeing for this square, and preventing the rooks or giving a check. So Magnus also played his knight to g5, and now the square is defended by the bishop, so the knight cannot come and will be exchanged. And this rook is played as the pawn on e6 is attacked, and there is an attacking the air by Magnus Carlsen. G7 square is weak, attacked by the double rooks passively. So knight, one of the knight is removed from the path of rooks, and the ace pawn is attacked, and maybe the bishop is coming here, protect the e6 pawn, and knight jump to ace e3, and Levon's knight in the d e7 goes to g8, and bishop f3 is played. Maybe some sacrifice can work, and development also, the diagonal, attacking the diagonal. So queen comes to d7, e7, maybe some, and now Magnus bringing his king to b file, and as there is no attack, and in this moment everything is closed, the center is closed, so you can do that. So here is bishop to e7, bishop to f7, and protecting the b6 pawn, and Magnus doing the same thing, bringing his king close to the queen side, and rook is played to a7, king c1, rook to d7, and Magnus is a time pressure game. He just sacrifices a knight, and maybe the push on e pawn is going to be pushed, and double attack, and the bishop will be pinned by the rooks here. So but Levon captured with the bishop, gives his exchange, and here Magnus exchange the light bishop with the knight, and knight captures the knight, and bishop captures a rook. So here pawn captures a bishop, and now Magnus's rook, double rooks are so active now and capturing on g7, and the knights are protecting the king with any pawn, without any pawn, and Magnus joins the queen to maybe the g6 is the target square, and the queen and all the pieces are active on the g file, and knight blocks, but Magnus getting the compensation maybe as with the pawn, and the queen rook attack. The queen can come to f c8, and Levon bringing his king too close to the center, and pawn is expanded by the pawn to f5, and here another sacrifice, getting two pawn, knight captures on e5, and pawn captures, and queen captures. Here Magnus played another sacrificing of the pawn, as he is going to grab this diagonal and giving maybe a checkmate possibility, but Levon goes for queen getting check, and the next target is maybe this check, and queen is a swap, and the queen is gone, and Magnus is maybe it is position is better. Now Levon Aronian has already lost low on time, you see, and he protects the pawn on h5, and the king is coming to capture here, and capture, rook pawn is pushed to h6, and the king captures on f6, and here this king is coming of Magnus attacking, target to attack this e6 e4 pawn, and rook prevents the diagonal. So here Magnus is challenging rooks, as he is going to capture the pawn with the king, and maybe it is Magnus 23 seconds, and Levon has 0 second, almost 0 seconds, but Levon is playing a cunning move and trying to improve the pawn chain, but this pawn, and this rook is moved again to a5, and there is threat to push the pawn, and king goes, and the rook attack this pawn again now, and Magnus Levon need to save, but he made a mistake, and it's a blunder. He could push the pawn first, then there is a threat by Levon, but this rook move and improves the king position by Magnus, and he's going to bring the king to e and to square, and it is safe. I think it is safe for Magnus, and this pawn is hanging, capture, and this double attack on double pawn. Sorry, attack on the both a pawn and c pawn. So all pawn will be swapped. So here you see Magnus with bonus point time for control, more healthy time now, but the pawns are attacking now, and the rook is challenged as Magnus king will be activated then. And here on move 66, Levon Aronian resigned, as there is nothing to do much, just bring the check, and king will plate, and this pawn is you can prevent this pawn capture on a4. So guys, hope you enjoy this game, a nice game, and close position certainly comes to the end game, comes to an end game position and favors the world champion. So wishing good luck for Magnus anniversary of 10 years. Hope you enjoy, and if you like my video, please hit the subscribe button. And